Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley, brought to you today by Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City. Today we're going to recap a big win that Jefferson County had at Carter on Friday night, 34-12. And Andrew, Jefferson County struggled early, but they found the rhythm in the second half.
Yeah, their offense struggled a little bit early. They tried to establish a run early, and Carter's defense really held a force in and wouldn't let them run it. And then they came back and then really established themselves in the second quarter, and I thought that was a game changer in the game.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about Austin Jenkins. Was 20 of 34 for 322 yards and 4 touchdowns. Another big game. Of course, found Noah Carter 7 times for 141 yards and 2 of those 4 touchdowns. Those two are really kind of clicking right now.
Yeah. I think they worked a lot over the off-season with each other, and it really shows off right now. And Noah, just a playmaker on the outside. You can't stop him. That was evident by that slant he took to the house. I mean, he just was gone like that.
Yeah, for the second straight week, he takes that route to the house.
Yeah.
Against Grace Christian for 52 yards, against Carter for 63 yards, and he really, once he gets the ball in his hands, he's just a playmaker.
Yeah, I think Carter just caught themselves going like this because Noah was just running right by him.
I even put in my article because he also had an interception. Unfortunately for D'Angelo, Noah Carter wasn't wearing green.
No.
But when you look at this Jefferson County team, the offense will be able to put points up against basically anybody. Now, kind of going forward, of course you get Maryville this week. What do you see? What do you see in that game that you like for Jefferson County?
Well, I think if one thing's going for them, it's their passing game right now. I think that's going for them, and that's going to have to be the key to their game against Maryville, is to maybe, if they could, get them focusing on the pass and maybe break a few runs in there, mix it in, and their defense is going to have a tough task on their hands.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I really think, specifically watching the Maryville-Fulton game last night, I think Maryville's defense kind of works in the hands of Jefferson County. And then Maryville's offense kind of works in the hands of Jefferson County's defense, where they don't throw the ball a whole lot, and they like to run it right at you. And I mean, the first 2 games, Jefferson County's defense against the run has been very stellar.
Yeah, which you're talking about a little bit of a different type of run against Maryville. As George Corll said, that's his best set of running backs he's ever had at Maryville. Yeah. But I think it'll be a good task for him, and I think it should be a decent game.
Yeah, when you talk about the defensive line, of course, with Noah Smiley and Jacob Barney, they had huge games against Carter. They also had big games against Grace Christian. The defensive line, the front 7 for Jefferson County has really been playing well.
Yeah, their front 7 was extremely, extremely good in the second half against Carter. Noah Smiley and Jacob Barney basically dominated their offensive line. If they tried to come with me, you weren't getting it there. Noah Smiley, I think, had 1 sack, and Barney had 1 or 2, but it was extremely forceful.
Yeah, and then again, once they did get past the defensive line, Tucker C had a nice game.
Yeah, Tucker C had an extremely good game at the linebacker position. Anytime the ball came up his way, he was making the tackle.
Yeah, it seemed like the announcer was calling his name most of the night. Yeah. And anytime you looked around the ball, there 23 was. Now, moving forward against Maryville, what do you think is the key to the game against Maryville this week?
I think the key is our defense. Our defensive line has to be good, and our linebackers have to be good because their running game, they're obviously going to run it, like you said, a lot. They're going to try to establish that early. And I think if we do a good job there and make them throw it more, we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I also think Jefferson County's offense is also going to be a huge key in this ballgame because they've not quite faced the defense like Maryville's defense. They've played good defenses. Carter had a really, really active defense, specifically with Austin Howard in the middle. Austin Howard was everywhere, making hits. But I think the upgrade and competition will show and Jefferson County's offense is going to have to be up to the task.
Yeah, they're going to have their hands full for sure.
Yeah. I did get the chance to catch up with Jacob Barney after the game at Carter. Jacob, had an awesome day. You've had the first 2 games this year. You've been unreal.
Yeah.
Today, 3.5 sacks. What is your mindset when you're trying to get in the backfield and get the quarterback?
Just be explosive, get my all for my team is really all I really think about when I'm out there on the field.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the defensive effort tonight as a whole.
First we came out slow, but I feel like after we got used to what they were doing, we were coming out there and just slamming. We just played the ball, or the ball game we let it play.
Moving forward, you got Maryville coming up. What is the mindset of the defense going into such a big game?
We try to keep it together and get what they're doing under control and just lay it to them.
Yeah. Congratulations on a big win tonight.
Thank you.
Jacob Barney had 5 tackles and 2.5 sacks Friday night against Carter, and like we said before, he really had a great game.
Yeah, he was extremely good on the defensive line. I thought that was extremely key part in the game was him being so good that Carter couldn't run up the middle, which was a big part of their game, was the running game. And him and No Smiley, that duo, kind of shut that down.
What do you think gets Jacob going? I mean, like he's not an overly big guy to play defensive line, but man, he gets through there and he's there in every play.
I think it's his quickness. He's really quick off the ball, and I don't think many big offensive linemen can handle that. How quick he is off the line, he has good moves too as a defensive lineman.
Yeah. Now, after these words from Kenny Caldwell after the game on Friday night, we'll return with our Angie Cox State Farm Jefferson County Post Player of the Game. What's up, man?
What's up, big dog? Let's start off with the third quarter. You outgained them 146-17 in the third quarter. It's a close game at halftime, and you just dominated in the third.
We kind of challenged our defense first of all. We felt like they played well through the first half, but we wanted to really try to come out and dominate. Offensively, we felt like if we would just start executing, we could maybe move the ball some and get some things going, which we were able to do. Also, really challenged our special teams at halftime. We were sloppy as could be in the first half. They tightened it up in the second half, and I think between that, the defense playing well and the offense finding a way to click, obviously that was the difference for the game for us.
You mentioned the defense. They responded. They had an interception, a fumble. They forced every Carter possession in the first half. They made a punt. How big was your defense tonight?
Huge. And we knew that our defensive line was going to be key in this game. We've challenged them all week, and we got some great players, some great senior leadership up there with Jacob Barney and Noah Smiley and Harper Lang, and man, they answered the call. They were the difference in the game up front. I think Barney made, 4 or 5 tackles for loss and was all over the place. And those guys, man, they're getting to where they're playing for each other. They don't care who gets back there, just as long as somebody's getting back there and making the play, and it's fun to watch right now.
You got the ball in the fourth quarter, turn it over on the first play. They go down and score, get the onside kick. You hold them, and then you hit the big home run to really that was the end of the game.
Right. Well, and we challenge them as long as you're in, as long as you're getting a chance to make plays, go make them. As long as we've got you in there and you've got a chance and we're snapping the football, go make the plays, and we're fortunate to make them tonight.
So talk a little bit about, you like running that little crossing route with Noah.
Mm-hmm.
They took it away in the first half pretty good. Seemed like after you guys got a little bit of a lead, they started maybe getting a little bit of frustration.
Right.
And that kind of opened that up.
Yeah, I think we distanced as the game went on. We were able to distance it, and Noah's that's a good play for us, and we missed it a couple of times early by overthrowing it. But once we settled back down, we were able to make the play, and they did. They stressed it some, got some hands up in the D line, had some people tighten some coverage. We got a penalty on it, which was a pass interference penalty, which helped us on some of that. But we're going to keep trying to get the ball number 5 and number 11 to these guys and our runners, and let them try to make plays.
But coming in, Carter. You knew Carter had a good defense. For you guys to be able to put 400-plus yards on them for a second week in a row, talk a little bit about the offense.
Well, as you said, Coach Branton and the offensive staff, they did a great job putting the game plan together. Our kids are bought in, and, they're just – it's like they're so unselfish. They don't care whose number's getting called. Let's just make the play. And you'll hear them saying that at practice. And it's just a testament to the leadership of our kids, man. I couldn't be more proud of the bunch right now.
Thank you, Coach. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. It is now time for our Angie Cox State Farm Jefferson County Post Player of the Week. And our Player of the Week this week is Noah Carter. Noah, thanks for coming on with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Noah had 7 catches for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also had another interception on defense. No, kind of talk about the Carter game a little bit. What you guys saw open, especially for you.
Well, starting off the game, we started off a little slow, and then he could stop us on our first 2 drives, and then we went doubles a lot early. And when we went doubles, they had the 2 walk down backers on the outside, and they would basically man up on me. So we didn't really get much going on that. And then later on to the game, we started going a lot more trips, and then that way it freed me up a lot more to be able to get open and get the ball a lot more.
Yeah. Now you guys like that crossing route. It necessarily opens up the middle, because every time you get it, the middle is wide open for you to take off and just outrun everybody else.
Yeah, it's one of those RPOs. It's a run-pass option where if the linebacker's sit for the pass, then he's just going to hand it off. And then if the linebacker comes up, and obviously Carter liked the blitz a lot, so when they blitzed, I mean, he just pulled the thing in the middle, was just wide open.
Now, Carter's defense was pretty athletic, and specifically Austin Howard. Talk a little bit about the defense.
Well, their front 7 they were pretty good, but then they had kind of some holes in the secondary. I mean, they had some guys that were a little banged up, and just playing against Austin, he's a really great athlete. I mean, last year he's All-State, and I mean, just watching film on him, he's always flying to the ball 100% of the time, and it seems like he's in on every tackle. So, I mean, I thought he had a pretty good game, and so did the Carter defense.
Yeah.
No, you guys got a big game coming up against Maryville. What do you think one key for your team is going into that game to compete in that game and compete with the number 1 ranked team in the state?
Well, it's going to be defensively. I mean, we're going to have to be able to stop Maryville's offense with they have some really big offensive linemen, and they're going to try to create some gaps to run the ball, and we got to just basically control the defensive side.
Yeah. Now moving ahead, on the offensive side of the ball, I'm sure you watched the Maryville Fulton game last night. Now talk a little bit about what you saw from their defense that maybe you guys can take advantage of.
I think with us being able, because Fulton, I mean, they couldn't really spread it out too much, but once they did spread it out, it would create just gaps it's going to create gaps for our running back to be able to hit the holes and get through. So I think with us being able to spread it out a lot more, it's going to create gaps for our guys to run the ball, and then I think we'll be able to pass the ball on.
Yeah, I think Fulton really had a lot of missed opportunities last night against Maryville secondary. Things that and watching that game, I was kind of thinking to myself, Gorell and Noah may be able to make those plays against them.
Yeah, I mean, I watched 2. I know for sure 2 touchdown passes that were dropped on Fulton's side, and then they just had some calls that didn't go their way with the illegal formation. When there was no illegal formation, it was just the same play before that snap, and they just called it.
Yeah. So, but moving forward, I guess Maryville, like Andrew said, number 1 team ranked in the state. They've won so many state championships. They know how to win. They've now won 35 games in a row, 34, something like that. Now, how are you guys going to prepare and get your mind set for that?
I mean, I don't think we really want to think too much about that. I mean, we just want to think as it's just another opponent. It's another week of game time, and just we prepared like any other game we had.
No, their defense is extremely good at Maryville. What do you think the key for your offense or your team's offense to attack their defense is?
I mean, I think a key would be to not have like any slow, like we can't really have our slow drives. I mean, we got to come out popping, and then try not to get ourselves in like a 3rd and long situation. Like always try to keep it going forward. Try not to get behind the chains.
Now, you mentioned earlier that the defense will have to stop Maryville. Do you feel if the game gets into a scoring battle where it's just alternate possessions of touchdowns, do you feel like you guys do you like that game?
I mean, I would like that game because we've been able to put up a lot of points. So I think we could trade with them, but I don't think we really want to trade. I mean, we want to get our stops, but if not, I believe that we could still put up the points and try to play with them.
Also, would like to give shout out to Noah, who got his first collegiate offer this week at Tusculum, from Tusculum College in Greenville. Talk a little bit about Tusculum and what you like about Tusculum and things of that.
I was very excited to get the phone call here that I was going to be offered by Tusculum, and I like their program. One thing that really sticks out is their stadium. I mean, it's kind of like a unique setup, and I really like the natural grass. I mean, their natural grass it's really nice. I mean, it's one of the better. It's just everybody else has turf, but I like their natural grass. It's really nice.
Now, when we return, we'll have our Big Orange Breakdown. Thank you, Noah Carter, for coming on with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. We're now going into our Big Orange Breakdown, brought to you today by Volunteer Spirits, located at 921 Highway 92 in Jefferson City. Of course, Tennessee has moved to Nike this season, and that's not the only thing that's going to change with Tennessee. They will be a contender in SEC East this year. They open the season with Bowling Green at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Kickoff for that game is at 4 p.m. on September 5th. Of course, Joshua Dobbs will be the Tennessee starting quarterback this year. The first time in a few years that Tennessee has not had a quarterback competition in fall camp. He will be surrounded by talent at the wide receiver position with the return of Marquez North, of course, Jason Kroom and Josh Smith, Pig Howard, and Juwan Jennings, who is a freshman coming in as a quarterback recruit. He will be in the starting six as a wide receiver when they are in Nashville at Nissan Stadium against Bowling Green. I will be there covering the game on the sidelines to bring back to you guys in Jefferson County and surrounding counties. And on the defensive side of the ball is where Tennessee will really be good this year. Their front seven is probably as good as any front seven in college football this season, with, of course, the return of Kurt Maggitt and Derek Barnett on the outside of the defensive end. Then you have two fellow freshmen in Shy Tuttle and Khalil McKenzie at the defensive tackle position. Linebacker position, you of course have Reeves Maven still there. Then of course Cam Sutton at corner, and then Todd Kelly Jr. and others will fill the safety. Evan Berry will be there as safety. Now special teams is where Tennessee's question mark is going to lie this season. Not quite sure how good they will be as far as field goals and PATs, and then of course their punter. They're starting a new punter this season, so be on the lookout for that as you get into big time SEC competition. Again, Tennessee will open the season September 5th at 4 p.m. against Bowling Green State at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Look for Tennessee to be much improved overall this year. I think wins will come easier for Tennessee, and I think they get to 8 or 9 wins during the regular season, going 8-4 or 9-3. And I think, of course, with a bowl game victory, could reach that 10-win plateau for the first time since 2007. That'll be a big step in Butch Jones' third year as head coach to see that the recruiting is finally paying off at the University of Tennessee. This is the Big Orange Breakdown, brought to you by Volunteer Spirits in Jefferson City at 921 Highway 92.
We opened up at 7.
Cool, I'm definitely Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. We're now going to go into our fifth quarter segment, and our games on tap this week. We're going to throw in a little middle school action with Lincoln Heights at Maury. Andrew, Maury is on a 21-game winning streak. And really, quite frankly, none of the games have been even that close for Maury.
No, not at all.
Who are you going with?
I'm going to have to go with Maury. I think you'd be about stupid to pick against him.
Yeah. Maury is outstanding. It's like they have a system. They just keep plugging in guys. Of course, Hawkins was in last year at running back, and he ran all over people. Now Joshua Miller this season is running all over guys. It's pretty outstanding to see this at the middle school level. Now we're going to go to our second game of the week, which is Jefferson County at Maryville. Of course, Maryville being the #1 team in the state. Jefferson County having 2 great games and being able to pull off those 2 victories against some good quality opponents.
Yeah.
But Maryville is a next step.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Jeff County. I think that they come off these 2 big wins. I think they might just shock the world. I'm gonna pick for them. I'm gonna pick Jeff County.
That's good, Andrew. I'm gonna go Jefferson County as well. I think they make just enough plays, and I think they actually pull the upset in a very, very, very close game. Let's go 35-34 on a missed extra point by Maryville.
35-34 on a game-winning field goal.
Either way, Jefferson County victorious over the #1 team in the state in Class 6A. Now we're going to switch things. College football starts this week. We're going to go Louisiana Lafayette versus your University of Kentucky Wildcats.
Yep. I'm going to pick Kentucky in this one.
You would?
Yeah. I think that their offense has improved. Their defense is better, and I think Mark Stoops has got them rolling up there in Lexington. I think they're going to beat Louisiana Lafayette.
Well, I mean, if you could say the name right, you'd be good. Do you remember when Nick Saban first took over Alabama? You remember that? And Louisiana Lafayette beat Alabama. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Well, Louisiana Lafayette's beating Kentucky this weekend to open the season, and your Wildcats are going down.
Nope.
It's over.
Nope.
Any hopes of a dream season for Kentucky are dashed week 1.
Nope.
Yeah. Mark it down. We're going to go now, of course, with Tennessee versus Bowling Green in Nissan Stadium in Nashville. And it is Nissan Stadium this year, guys. It's not LP Field anymore. Nissan Stadium. Tennessee versus Bowling Green. Who do you have?
Sadly, I'm going to have to pick Tennessee in this one. I just think they're much improved, and I'm going to pick Tennessee. Sadly.
You don't have to be sad to pick Tennessee.
Oh,
it should be
sad.
a great thing to be able to pick Tennessee. Well, I am going Tennessee in a big win, 52-13 over Bowling Green. Bowling Green was 8-6 a year ago. Played in the MAC championship game.
The MAC?
Yeah, the MAC. Ben Roethlisberger came from the MAC. Antonio Brown came from the MAC. There's some good talent in the MAC, okay? And Tennessee's going to put it to them. You think so?
Yeah, I believe you. I think.
What's your score prediction?
35-7.
35-7.
Yeah.
For Noah Carter, Andrew Briggs, I'm Mike Stanley. Thank you guys for watching.